see, the devil busy. See, the devil won't act stupid. But I buy, ooh, he got time.
I know my parents loved me, stand behind me come what may. I know now that I'm ready, for I finally heard them say, you can dish it, you can take it. Just remember that you've been told, oh, it's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. Hey, than where you come from. Ooh, than where you come from. Oh, here's our chance to make it. If we focus on our goal, you can get shot, you can take it. Just remember that you've been told, it's a different world. It's a different world. Ooh, it's a different world, yeah, than where you come from. Trouble in my way. He shall hide me. Sometimes I have to cry, sometimes he shall hide me. Lie awake at night. He shall hide me. So many sleepless nights. The pillow be rolled, yeah. The pillow be rolled. The breakers may dance. The breakers may dance. I shall not sway. I shall not sway. He holds me fast, yeah. He holds me fast. It's a different world. 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 I was sinking deep in sin. Very far from the peaceful shore. And the master of the sea.
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
Say you love it, what you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spend you. That ass, girl, gotta make it last, yeah. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? I got it all going right now. I got devices going crazy. Oh my god. So let's go. Let's go.
Unite to understand there is
impossible to make that case based on everything we know currently as how Alvin Bragg has put this together.
Joe, your thoughts?
I want to associate myself with everything that Rick Grinnell just said. This is a time to unite and to be together. This is one of the most disgraceful moments in American legal history. A George Soros bought and paid for hack lawyer has now, for the first time in American history, indicted a former president of the United States for no crime. He has manufactured an offense. The president's lawyers should move to dismiss this case on statute of limitations, prosecutorial misconduct, and move for a change of venue immediately. And by the way, why is this indictment still sealed? The only reason you seal an indictment is because the person you want to arrest is a fugitive. This indictment is sealed to protect the prosecutor. This is an absolute disgrace. Alvin Bragg is a George Soros hack, and New York City deserves what it gets.
Bold statement there. Matt, back to you. I want to put up here, this is how the New York Times, which of course has been rooting for this outcome the entire time, explained the case that Bragg is making here. They're saying in New York, falsifying business records can amount to a crime, albeit a misdemeanor. To elevate the crime to a felony charge, Mr. Bragg's prosecutors must show that Trump's intent to defraud included an intent to commit or conceal a second crime. In this case, that second crime could be a violation of New York state election law. While hush money is not inherently illegal, that's a big line, the prosecutors could argue that the $130,000 payout effectively became an improper donation to Trump's campaign under the theory that because the money silenced Ms. Daniels, it benefited his candidacy. And when you read that line, it illustrates so perfectly how ridiculous this moment is. And I think what a pile of you-know-what that they have stepped into by making this the case against Donald Trump, because it's laughable. And Joe's already laughing.
Yeah, well, and you know, this is the time when not only do Republicans, to both Joe and my friend Rick Grinnell's point, need to unite. This is a time where Democrats need to speak out when there are these types of abuses, because it is very obvious to me. First of all, it was a federal presidential election, so New York election law does not matter. And the second point where the New York Times is absolutely wrong is that if it's not solely for elections and it had a mixed purpose, then it's not a federal election law violation. And I was the Attorney General when the Southern District of New York, a bunch of killers, looked at these exact fact pattern and determined that there was no violation of federal election law. So, I mean, this case fails before it's even out of the box. This is like a racehorse that stumbles out of the gate on its first step. There's just no way that ultimately this case succeeds. But remember, Alvin Bragg is the best money that George Soros ever spent, because he's going to get the mugshot that all the Democrats are going to share and put on T-shirts and put on posters all around the country and the world, because you know what? This is all they want to do is get Trump. Right.
Joe, back to you just for a second. How long is it before this case collapses? How long is it before Alvin Bragg, has to deal with the embarrassment of what he's done here?
Well, it's hard to tell because this is New York City. Remember, all the judges on the trial court in New York City, they're all Democrats. And this is, you have to hope beyond all hope that you're going to get an honest judge who's going to view this case for what it is, a piece of garbage from a garbage prosecutor. George Soros bought and paid. You just don't know what's going to happen. All of these motions that I've suggested, statute of limitations, change of venue, prosecutorial misconduct for the book that Mark Pomerantz wrote that disclosed the entire case against Trump, which Bragg did nothing to stop the publication of. This is one of the most disgraceful performances by an American prosecutor in the history of the country. Will New York stand up and be counted? I doubt it.
Joe DeGenova, Matt Whitaker, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. Good to see you both.
Thank you, Rob.
You bet.
Going wall to wall here, by the way. No commercial breaks as we talk about this day that will no doubt live in infamy. Astonishing, the developments tonight. Obviously, the breaking news, Trump's been indicted. Sebastian Gorka and Hogan Gidley join us now. Both worked in the Trump White House. Both did a great job. Sebastian, going to start with you. Josh Hawley tweeting out, tonight's indictment of Donald Trump isn't about the law. It's about power, raw power. It's the Democrat Party telling the nation they will stop at nothing to control the outcome of the next presidential election. It is an assault on our democracy, pure and simple. Your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. And let me give you a prediction right now. In the next 24 to 48 hours, you will see the great separation, the separation of the wheat from the chaff. And I'm not even going to talk about Republicans vice rhinos. I'm going to talk about patriots versus everybody else. The public statements made by political leaders, by public figures in the next 2 days will tell you who really cares about living in a nation where we have rule of law. As I was listening to your show, to the prior guest, to Joe and everyone else, I was just going through some responses on my Twitter account. And one woman, a friend of mine, asked the very simple question openly: has America now become a police state? As the child of those who escaped communism, my father was liberated by revolutionaries from a communist prison in the Hungarian freedom fight. I never thought I would see the day where the most powerful nation in the world has its federal and local law enforcement become a political weapon. Because Rick Grenell is right, to use a British phrase. This isn't a former president. This is the current leader of the opposition. He's leading Ron DeSantis by between 20 and 40 points in the polls. He is the putative nominee for the next presidential election. And all you need to know about the current decision that was made 2 hours ago is that this is about destroying President Trump and intimidating the 74 million Americans who voted for him, Rob.
It's not going to work, though, is it, Hogan?
I don't think so. In fact, if anything, it makes Donald Trump a whole lot stronger, because it turns out the American people stand with Donald Trump on the mere fact they don't like the government to be weaponized and politicized against its own citizens. And that's exactly what's happening here. But it's not just about Donald Trump. They've gone after fathers and sons standing outside of Planned Parenthood clinics. They've gone after the J6ers without giving them any due process whatsoever. They've gone after parents who care about curriculum in their kids' classrooms. And Donald Trump hit on this beautifully in his statement after hearing the news, pointing out the movement is not going to stop. The movement is heading to make America great again, because the American people refuse to allow a government to come after them the way they've gone after Donald Trump in countless ways. Not just Russia, 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 not just Mueller, not just fake impeachment 1, hoax impeachment 2, witch hunt after witch hunt. They've gone after his friends, they've gone after his family, they've gone after his businesses, they've gone after his staff, and they've gone after him time and time again. Keep swinging for the king and keep missing. And you're going to feel the retribution here politically, because if Donald Trump does get back in office, as he said, he's going to clean house. These deep staters, these three-letter agency folks coming after the American people, that's all going to stop, and it should. And when you have this case that Jonathan Turley himself calls legally pathetic, and I'm no attorney, but I'm going to defer to the types who've been doing this for decades now, there is no case here. Forget the fact that the statute of limitations is gone. Forget the fact that the facts of this case don't require an indictment, much less a prosecution. The I saw the DOJ refuse to take this case. Bragg's predecessor, Bragg's himself, the federal New York prosecutor for the Southern District of New York, and of course the Election Commission, none of which took up this case. So it's ridiculous to think anything other than it's going after the American patriots, as Seb Gorka put it, versus everyone else. A dual system of justice that we cannot let stand.
Sebastian, just one more over to you, too. You know, I think what a lot of people have been concerned about as Trump runs again in 2024 is potentially a dwindling base because of all the noise surrounding him after January 6th, everything that we've seen. That's when you talk to Trump supporters, people that voted for him twice, their major concern is can he win in a national election again? He might be able to get the primary, but can he win in a national election? I think so many people that might have been on the fence that this is going to be such an eye-opener to them about how this country works. It explains so much about the way Donald Trump behaves at times, when certainly some people say, oh, I wish he wouldn't have said that. You don't understand what this country really is. You don't understand. I mean, they put on a real nice facade, but it is filthy dirty inside of Washington, D.C. And they have been attacking this man for 7 years. Ask yourself how you'd behave if every single day there were people trying to throw you in prison, every single day there was people trying to cut you at the kneecaps, to ruin you in some fashion or another because you did something you weren't supposed to do. You became the president when you didn't have all the right alignments.
He wasn't, you nailed it, Rob. A guy who wasn't part and parcel of the political elite, who wasn't owned by any interest group, not Big Pharma, not oil, not the unions. He's not allowed to be the president. The American people shouldn't have voted for him. They voted for the wrong person. But let's be clear. I'm voting for him. Why? Because he's the only one who's going to destroy the deep state. The deep state has now proven they exist. With this indictment, everything the president said for the last 6 years is empirically proven. Yep. And he's the only person who's going to come in with the blowtorch and dismantle it all. And it has to be dismantled. Anybody who's an established politician isn't going to come to D.C. and fix it because they want to be reelected. President Trump can't run for a third term. He can only come here to fix it. And to every Republican who says, oh, he can't win a general. Look, you know, my colleague Hogan knows they're just falling into the trap of believing the left-wing talking points. I'll say it again, more votes than any president incumbent in history. And you're right, Rob. Anybody who is on the fence, anybody who's in the middle who says they're apolitical, they're going to look at this and they'll say, what? An NDA 7 years ago? I signed an NDA with President Trump. I'm not a porn star. I was writing national security briefings for him. That was his property as the head of the Trump organization. And you're going to try and turn that into a felony? People are going to be red-pilled in their tens of millions. Right. And Elon Musk was right. When this news first came out 10 days ago, he said, oh, yep, they've just guaranteed that 45 is going to be 47.
Yeah, and look at what they've done to executive privilege in the name of getting Trump. Look at what they did to attorney-client privilege in the name of getting Trump. Gentlemen, thank you both so much. Hogan Gidley and Sebastian Gorka, who is not a porn star. Good to see you guys both.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks.
All right, this just in tonight. Alvin Bragg's spokesperson releasing this statement. Should be good. This evening, we contacted Mr. Trump's attorney to coordinate his surrender to the Manhattan DA's office for arraignment on a Supreme Court indictment, which remains under seal. Guidance will be provided when the arraignment date is selected. Let's bring in Matt Schlapp now to join us. Good to see you, sir. There's talk. I think some places are reporting that the president will be booked and he'll be photographed as if they need any of that. They're saying probably no handcuffs, but they're saying this is going to be a traditional indictment. They're going to take him in.
Yeah, it's never happened to a president. It's never happened to a former president. What are they going to do with Secret Service? How are they going to handle all of this? This is, I want to use some foul language here, but I won't. But this is going to be a chaotic situation, and it's completely unavoidable if we would simply follow our regular order. But let's just be honest. The Democratic Party, which has been taken over by socialists and funded by George Soros and his ilk, is hell-bent on the destruction of this country. They're hell-bent on disrupting and destroying our legal system, and they will do anything to put Donald Trump behind bars because they fear that he's got enough chutzpah and support to become the president again. It's so clear that's what this is all about.
It's remarkably clear. I want to get some reaction here from the Trump boys tonight. Eric Trump tweeting out, "This is third world prosecutorial misconduct. It is the opportunistic targeting of a political opponent in a campaign year." Short and simple and very, very true. Let's play this from Don Jr.
So, guys, you still think we have a equal system of justice? You don't think it's a two-tiered system? I guess you haven't been watching, folks. This is political weaponization of our government against its citizens and against political opposition and resistance like we've never seen before. This is the kind of stuff that would make Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot, and other sociopaths blush. And it's happening right here in America. The America you know and love is gone. And it's why we need to fight to bring her back. It ain't gonna happen unless you have people who are actual fighters in there. And I think we see that. The witch hunts will continue, the weaponization will continue, and it will never end until we say enough is enough.
You know, he makes such a good point that I think it's so important for people to remember because, you know, with Trump, he's so tough.
I have to say this. Then I have to go here. A lot of people don't understand what's going on right now. What's going on right now is you see a political witch hunt. And the witch hunt is bad. Very bad. I'm gonna post something, right? I'm gonna show you just how dumb these people are. Hold on, where is that? Where is that? Not there. Not there. Hold on. Right here. Let's start here. Start there.
Social Security and raise the minimum age to at least 70. And Medicare, he wanted to absolutely destroy it. Rhino, Ron DeSanctimonious, is delivering the biggest insurance company bailout in globalist history. This is a gift to insurance companies and a disaster for the people of Florida. He's also crushed Florida homeowners whose houses were destroyed in the hurricane. They have been absolutely decimated. They're getting pennies on the dollar. His insurance commissioner does absolutely nothing, while Florida's lives are ruined. The hurricane was a disaster. The hurricane was actually handled very poorly, and the insurance companies are being made whole. The people of Florida aren't. This was a total sellout to the insurance companies. The worst insurance scam in the entire country, with the highest rates in the entire country. That's Florida. So you have to tell it like it is, and I'm just telling it like it is. Shouldn't be allowed to happen. Thank you very much.
Hold on. Also, what's going on is a lot of people don't understand. So I'm gonna break it down. Right now, Trump is leading the polls, right, to become the next president, right? And they don't want that because they know Trump is the only one that got the kahunas to get them out of office. So right now it says the new Fox poll has just been released today, 5 hours ago. Oh no, 1 day ago, I'm sorry. And it's bad news for Ron DeSanctimonious, was Ron DeSantis, and his Rhino globalist donors, probably because of his terrible votes against Social Security and Medicare, and also, of course, because people love the job I did as president of the United States. We were #1 in every category, respected all over the world, and now our country is going down the tubes. We are a failing nation, right? So you see, Trump is at 54%. Ron DeSantis is at 24%. That's a 30% jump. That's a landslide compared to February. This is a landslide compared to February. You see Mike Pence, you see Liz Cheney, you see Nikki Haley, you see Greg Abbott. Which means if Greg Abbott is running for president, he will no longer be the governor of Texas. All right. So from that point, we go to a statement that Donald Trump released right before this stuff came out. And the statement goes like this. Hold on. The statement goes like this. It says, statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. This is a political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. From the time I came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower, and even before I was sworn in as your president of the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of the hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement. You remember it just like I do. Russia, Russia, Russia. The Mueller hoax. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Impeachment hoax. Impeachment hoax 2. The illegal and unconstitutional Mar-a-Lago raid. And now this. The Democrats have lied, cheated, and stolen in their obsession with trying to get Trump. But now they've done the unthinkable, indicting a completely innocent person in an act of blatant election interference. Never before in our nation's history has this been done. The Democrats have cheated countless times over the decades, including spying on my campaign, but weaponizing our justice system to punish a political opponent who just so happens to be a president of the United States and by far the leading Republican candidate for president. Has never happened before, ever. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who was handpicked and funded by George Soros, is a disgrace. Rather than stopping the unprecedented crime wave taking over New York City, he's doing Joe Biden's dirty work, ignoring the murders and burglaries and assaults he should be focused on. This is how Bragg spends his time. I believe this witch hunt will backfire massively on Joe Biden. The American people realize exactly what the radical left Democrats are doing here. Everyone can see it. So our movement and our party, united and strong, will first defeat Alvin Bragg, and then we will defeat Joe Biden. And we are going to throw every last one of these crooked Democrats out of office so we can make America great again. Last but not least, this is funny. The smooth brains. The smooth brains in Manhattan and the Manhattan DA's office just set the stage for the indictment and arrest of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and anyone else in their sick little club who've committed crimes against our country. They set the precedent, not us. When we come for them with the force of the law, they will scream and cry about political prosecutions, and all of it will fall on deaf ears. Good play, dumbasses. That part right there. So now y'all see where this is going. You see where this is going. If Trump don't get in office, we are done as people. Now, watch this. This is what I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. What I want to show you is this right here. Right here. It says, our nation is now third world and dying. The American dream is dead. The radical left anarchists have stolen our presidential election, and with it, the heart of our country. American patriots are being arrested and held in captive like animals, while criminals and leftist thugs are allowed to roam the streets, killing and burning with no retribution. Millions are flooding through our open borders, many from prisons and mental institutions. Crime and inflation are destroying our very way of life. Now, illegal leaks from a corrupt Hollywood, but I read that already, right? I read that to y'all. Hold the line. Watch this, but pay attention. This came out November 11, 2018. Let the unsealing begin. Let the D-class begin. Let the world witness the truth. We, the people, justice under the law. Q. And remember the date. Now but this QCOM came out on November 11, 2018. Pay attention. January the 18th, 2018. Trump lawyer used private company pseudonyms to pay porn star Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen created limited liability company just before $130,000 payment. This don't have nothing to do with Trump. Okay? I just want y'all to see that. Hold on, because what I'm about to show y'all is going to take y'all to a wholly different place. It's going to take you to a wholly different place what I'm about to show you. And here it is. I don't want nobody to be scared, but I've been telling y'all for months that this was coming. So let's see what he's talking about. It says December the 17th, 2019, 17:03:45 Eastern Standard Time. 17, let's see, 12, 13 is 1, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 1, 2. So that's 5 at 5:17 Eastern Standard Time. 5:03:45 Eastern Standard Time. It said first indictment unsealed will trigger mass pop awakening. And that's what's going on now. Everybody like, oh, this ain't right. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. Then they will fight, but you are ready. The marker. So now they're going to try to fight against the Patriots, but the Patriots is going to really go crazy. And what people don't understand is this right here. Hold on. And remember the guy from the fake, that what they call insurrection, but that wasn't an insurrection. See, they're not talking about what they're doing underneath hand. Read what it says. It says QAnon shaman Jacob Chansley is released 14 months early from prison after January 6th footage showed him being escorted by cops inside the Capitol. Now stop. What is his name? Tucker Carlson. They just tried to shut Tucker Carlson down and for him showing this footage. Now watch this. Jacob Chansley, 35, was released on Thursday from after serving 27 months in prison. He had been sentenced to 41 months after pleading guilty in September 2021. His move to a halfway house appears to be routine under federal guidelines. The so-called QAnon shaman who pleaded guilty to storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6th has been released from prison to a halfway house 14 months early and an apparent reduction for good behavior. Right. Jacob Chansley, 35, pleaded guilty in September 2021 to civil disorder and violent entry to the Capitol, among other charges, and was later sentenced to 41 months in federal prison. Stop. The Capitol belongs to the people. That's what you pay taxes for. Or that's what y'all pay taxes for. But now they making it seem like y'all wrong if y'all going into a place that y'all technically own. Earlier this week, Chansley was transferred from FCI Stafford Federal Prison in Arizona to community confinement in the Phoenix area after serving just 27 total months in prison. A Bureau of Prisons BOP spokesman confirmed in a statement to dailymail.com on Thursday. The spokesman declined to comment on the reason for the transfer, but pointed generally to federal laws that allow for good conduct sentence reductions. Ain't no good sentence reduction going to allow a 14-month transfer. Who do they think they playing with? Ain't no good behavior going to allow 14 months early. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop. Then it says, as well as release to a halfway house for the final 12 months of a sentence. Chansley's release comes weeks after his former attorney demanded he be freed in light of new video from the Capitol riot, but his move to the halfway house appears to be unconnected. A former federal prosecutor unconnected with the case said it was doubtful public pressure played a role in Chansley's transfer. Nothing to prove, noting the move appears kind of routine under BOP guidelines. So, look at this. He's been escorted by the officer all the way through. Look at this. The officer showing him around. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Hold on, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Can y'all hear me?